Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is super special because it's a very romantic and very emotional story, and also a very long story. So without wasting any time, let's get straight into the story. My name is Anne. I am 20 years old. I live in a big city with my mom. My dad left us when I was 10 years old, and since then it's just been me, my mom, and my little brother, who is 8 years old. We have a small apartment, and we're not rich at all. When I was 17 years old, I started working part-time in a cafe as a barista to earn some money for my studies. I loved that job so much because there were so many cute guys that worked there with me. It was fun. One day I met this guy, Daniel. He was a regular client at the coffee shop. I found out that he was 29 years old, that he had his own business, and that he was a really nice guy. One day he asked me out on a date, and I said yes. We went to this nice restaurant downtown, and he paid for everything. After that, we started dating casually. I liked him so much because he was so kind, so romantic, and also because he gave me expensive gifts and took me to fancy places like restaurants and discos. One day, Daniel told me that he wanted to introduce me to his family. I was so happy. I thought he really liked me. But then I got nervous again when I found out where he was taking me. He drove me to this huge mansion, and I was so shocked. It looked like a palace. Then he said, "This is my house." I couldn't believe my eyes. It was so big and beautiful. Inside, it was even more impressive. There were huge crystal chandeliers, marble floors, and beautiful paintings on the walls. Daniel's parents were very nice to me, and they welcomed me with open arms. His father, Thomas, is the CEO of a large company. His mother, Isabella, is a former model, and Daniel is their only child. A few weeks later, Daniel told me that he loved me and wanted to marry me. I was so happy. I couldn't believe my luck. I thought he really loved me. But then I got nervous again because I didn't know his family well enough. What if they didn't like me? But then I thought, well, if Daniel loves me and wants to marry me, then I guess his parents must like me. So I said yes. The wedding was held in a church. It was a beautiful ceremony. All of Daniel's family and friends attended. After the ceremony, there was a big party at his house. It was so much fun. I danced with all of Daniel's relatives and friends. I felt so loved and so happy. After the wedding, Daniel and I went on our honeymoon to Paris. It was so romantic. We visited all the famous landmarks and we stayed in a 5-star hotel. I felt like a princess. When we returned from our honeymoon, we moved into Daniel's house. It was so huge. I needed a lot of time to explore it. There were so many rooms and hallways. I got lost all the time. Daniel's parents were very nice and helpful. They showed me how everything worked in the house, and they gave me tips on how to take care of it. They also hired a personal chef and a personal assistant for me. I didn't need to do anything. It was so luxurious. But there was one thing that bothered me. Daniel's mother, Isabella, kept following me around the house and talking to me nonstop. She told me what to wear, what to cook for dinner, how to decorate the house. It was so annoying. I tried to talk to Daniel about it, but he just said, "Oh, don't worry, she just wants to help you." But I wasn't so sure. One day I found a diary in one of the rooms. It was Isabella's diary. I opened it and started reading. And then I found out something shocking. It turned out that Isabella wasn't just any woman. She was my biological mother. I couldn't believe it. How could this be possible? I mean, I knew that Daniel's parents adopted him, but I didn't know that I was adopted too. I never knew anything about my biological parents. I went to Isabella and asked her if I was adopted. She was shocked. She didn't know that I had found the diary. She told me the whole truth. It turned out that I was born in an orphanage in Russia. My biological parents gave me up for adoption because they couldn't take care of me. Isabella and Thomas found me and decided to adopt me and raise me as their own daughter. That's why I looked nothing like them. I looked like a typical Russian girl. I was so confused. I didn't know what to think. I went to Daniel and told him everything. He was so sorry. He didn't know any of this either. He told me that he loved me very much and that nothing would change between us. He promised to find my biological parents and bring them to meet me. I went to see Isabella and apologized to her for being angry at her. She hugged me and told me that she was sorry too. She promised to help me find my real parents. Daniel hired a private investigator, and soon he found my biological mother. Her name is Svetlana. She was living in a small village in Russia with her new husband and daughter. Daniel and I decided to go to Russia to meet her. When we arrived at the village, it was so different from what I was used to. The houses were small and dilapidated. The streets were dirty and full of potholes. I couldn't believe that this was my hometown. We found my biological mother at home. She was surprised to see me, but she was also happy. We talked for hours. She told me that she had a hard life. After she gave me up for adoption, she married a bad man who beat her and treated her like a servant. She had another daughter who was 5 years old. Her name is Katya. Daniel brought gifts for both of them. He gave them food, clothes, toys. He was so generous. My biological mother was crying. She couldn't believe that I was living such a luxurious life. She wished the same for her other daughter, but she couldn't give her that life because she was poor. I felt sorry for my biological mother and sister. I knew that they were poor, and I wanted to help them. But I didn't know how. I couldn't just give them money because I knew that they wouldn't use it wisely. I had to find another way. I talked to Daniel and told him my idea. He listened to me and then said, "I love you, Anne. You know that. I will do anything for you." I smiled and said, "Well, then you must do what I ask you." He asked me what I wanted. I told him, "I want you to buy this house and renovate it. I want to give it to my biological mother and sister." He was surprised, but then he agreed. It took a few months to renovate the house, but in the end it looked amazing. It was modern and stylish. I helped my biological mother move in. She was so grateful. She cried and hugged me. She couldn't believe that I had done all of this for her. I told her that it was no problem. I was happy to help her, and I was glad that we were finally reunited. My biological sister Katya was so happy with her new room. She played and laughed. It was so cute. I promised to visit them often and bring them to live with us in a big city. They agreed. I'm so happy that I have two families who love me. It's not always easy to have two mothers, but I know that they both love me very much, and that's what matters the most. Thank you for watching my story. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.